Hello there, lovely. And in today's video, I just want to talk to you very briefly about how you can feel so much better, so much more quickly than you imagine you can when you stop drinking. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Jules Rutherford. I work with midlife women who are grey area drinkers to help them not really almost not just quit drinking. And what I'm really interested and passionate about is helping women change their lives for the better so that life is so fulfilling that alcohol just doesn't play a part in the daily thinking. But at the moment, I mean, one of the things I want to talk to you about is that this idea of how sometimes a lot of the stuff that maybe you read online or you hear from other people in the same situation is that giving up is a hard slog, that it'll be months before you feel better, you'll never not want to drink, which is nonsense, and how because you have this current habit, it will always be something that hangs around you like a rain cloud of doom. And I just know that this isn't true. You can feel better so much more quickly. And if you use the tools that I've made available, you can start to switch your thinking into things that you really love and you really want to do. When I first stopped drinking, I didn't have a rock bottom. I wasn't at this crossroads of life where something dramatic had to happen. I was literally just sick and tired of myself. And one of the things that I've been doing for decades, which I highly recommend, is journaling. And that showed me just how much better I was feeling after I stopped drinking. 9 days, and I'll show you the exact thing that I wrote in my journal on the 2nd of June 2017, which was 9 days after I'd stopped. Before I share that with you, I just want to talk to you about the power of journaling. I know a lot of women have said to me, I find journaling really difficult. I don't know what to write. And that's kind of, that's almost the problem, because you don't have to have a thing to write. You can just put pen to paper and let the pen do the work, because things will naturally flow out of you. But one of the reasons I really advocate for journaling is actually because without alcohol in your system, you think at a rate of, the speed of light. It is, your thoughts just go whoosh through you at a really fast pace. So even without alcohol in your system, sitting down, unless you are a naturally deep thinker, sitting down to solve a problem by thought alone can start out really positively, but could probably take you down a weird rabbit hole, particularly when you're trying to solve a persistent problem, because what you tend to do is start thinking about, right, I need to solve this problem. I need to, change this relationship for the better. But often you end down this road of kind of, yes, but all of my other relationships always went bad because of this, that, and the other. And then you're off down a negative rabbit hole that doesn't do you any favors. When you've got alcohol in your system, it's even worse, because alcohol can make you very anxious. It makes you very negative. So if you're trying to solve your problem of alcohol, trying to do that by pinning your thoughts down is just about impossible, because what you're going to layer on top of that is generally, but I've never achieved it before, so I'm useless. I've got the guilt and the shame of the drinking and all of that kind of negativity that I certainly had. But when you journal, you are giving your mind and your entire nervous system a moment to slow things all the way down so that you can really focus, because you can't write as fast as your mind goes. So you automatically have to slow things down. And once you do that, you really have to think about what you want to say to yourself, because that's essentially what journaling is. It's a conversation with yourself. And it's amazing the insights you can get from just that very slow process. Even if what you think at the moment, in that moment, is a load of incoherent nonsense, it's amazing what breadcrumbs are in there, that you can go back on and have a look at. And that's exactly what happened to me. On my quitting day, I was in such a low mood, and I picked my pen up to sort of go to my journal. And I noticed the day before I'd written something about alcohol, and I thought, it's a bit weird. Like, it's not normally what I didn't think that's what I wrote about. And I glanced back up to the next day, and there was another reference to alcohol. And I went back, and the months and months of entries were littered with the odd sentence and bits and pieces constantly referring to alcohol. Now, you can say I was either a bit dumb for not spotting it, or it was so unconscious that it was my subconscious telling me, come on, Jules, it's time to stop. And the moment that I spotted that, I just knew this is not me. This is not who I want to be. I certainly don't want to be this woman who was constantly focusing on alcohol. So when I stopped, I thought, right, okay, I'm going to journal every day up to 30 days just to see if that changes anything about how I write about things, whether what I write about becomes more positive, and just any observations along that sort of 30 days. And I'm going to read you now, I'll put it on the screen, you'll see it on the screen, what I wrote on day 9. And I'll have to say it because you probably can't read my scratty handwriting, but it says, day 9, I am in adoration of how I wake up these days. There is an instant clarity on waking that I adore. No slowness, no thick-headedness. It's a joy. Now, I just came across that recently, and I had sort of slightly misremembered. The human mind memory is a funny thing. But I thought that my kind of epiphany came around the 3-week mark. I think that looking back, that 3-week mark was that's it, I'm done with alcohol. But what I hadn't realised is just how much better I was feeling that much earlier. And I think that is an absolute game changer when you recognise that this is something that you can feel very quickly after you've stopped drinking. So my piece of advice to you today, pick up a pen, start journaling, and don't look back on it for about a week, maybe 10 days. Drink or don't drink, it doesn't really matter, but just put your thoughts on paper and then go back to it and see what breadcrumbs are there. And then stop drinking and try again. And just see if the nature of what you write is different to what you wrote on the previous 10 days. My passion and my purpose is to help you let go of alcohol, not so that you can become some sober warrior, but so that you can start living the life that you truly deserve, a one that you've created under your own steam, but it's the stuff made of dreams for how you want to live your life. That is my wish for you. And not only are the breadcrumbs of your knowledge about giving up and what you want to do in your journaling, but so are your dreams. So get journaling, my love, and just see what your heart reveals when you allow the pen to just do the work, because it'll come straight from the heart. The work I do is for midlife women, and I have, if you look in the description below, I have, there are links to the book I've written called The Most Loving Thing, to my 10-day reset. And this is one of the reasons I created, the main reason I created the 10-day reset, is because if you can take an intentional approach to your first 10 days of sobriety, that can be an absolute game changer. And the link's in the description below. Thank you for staying to the end. Please subscribe, so I can, so the algorithm gets the word out. And I will see you in the next one. Lots of love. Take care.